Hello, this is Erica Tankus, and I'm going to do my Lesson 8 video reflection and analysis assignment video. I have been given 4 prompts. The first one says that I am to defend the perspective that the first step in the 5-step decision-making model is the most important. Well, yes, it is important, as in the first step in the 5-step decision-making model is important. And I mean the most important, meaning that the first step in the 5-step decision-making model is indeed the most important. Speaking of which likewise, the 5-step decision-making model typically begins with defining the problem, which involves identifying the problem or the need or the goal. And one reason why defining the problem, which is the first step in the 5-step decision-making model, is arguably the most important step in the 5-step decision-making model, is because it fundamentally frames the entire subsequent process of decision-making that requires only 5 steps, with the first step being defining the problem, of course. A defense of such position rests on an idea or opinion that an accurately defined problems are a prerequisite for all effective action that takes place within in regards to the 5-step decision-making model. Reasons include that it ensures that the right problem is solved, it focuses on effort and resources, and sets the criteria for evaluation, and it also prevents jumping to conclusions. And also, by the way, in essence, if the first step is a failure, all subsequent steps are effectively useless, which thus leads to the non-negotiable foundation of the entire process. As in, the entire process and its foundation are non-negotiable. As in, the entire process has a non-negotiable foundation. Now, for the second prompt, it says in what types of work situations would satisficing be appropriate. And then I'm to list at least 3 occupations or industries where satisficing would not be an appropriate strategy for decision making. First, I'm going to define as satisficing. Satisficing is a decision-making strategy where individuals choose the first satisfactory or factory option, or the first option that is good enough, rather than enough, and doing so instead of expending maximum effort and resources to find optimal solutions or maximizations. Such satisficing is appropriate in work situations that are characterized by time constraints or urgency, low stakes routine decisions, overload of information, and bounded rationality. I am going to list 3 occupations or industries in which satisficing wouldn't be an appropriate strategy. The first strategy, and these 3 industries are aerospace engineering and defense industry, surgery and medicine, and the surgery and medicine industry, and high frequency trading, or financial risk trading. And there's like a 4th one. I found a 4th one, which is the financial risk management. Now, as an add-on, before I move on to the next prompt, satisficing is inappropriate when the consequences of a suboptimal decision involve high risk to human life, any life, as well as significant financial loss and or major long-term impact, usually a major long-term negative major long-term impact on the organization or company or business or corporation or firm or a society. Now for the third prompt, I am to it says is to discuss the relationship between creativity and innovation. And then I'm to answer the following questions. Is it possible to innovate without creativity? And is it possible to be creative without innovating? And I am to defend my position. And when answering both questions, I am to defend my position. Now, I'm going to now first off, creativity is the process of generating new, novel, and useful ideas, works, stuff, etc. And likewise, creativity involves and is about thinking, especially thinking of something or anything original, like something or anything that is original. Innovation is related to creativity as activity, especially as innovation is defined as the process of taking new ideas and putting those new ideas into action, and so as to create tangible products, services, processes, values, etc. And both creativity and innovation go hand in hand. And one way that creativity and innovation go hand in hand with each other is that they're both about implementing something or anything new. Another point is that creativity is typically considered the precursor or fuel or predecessor or fuel or start or before or start for innovate art or cause for innovation or cause of innovation, as innovation is the successful execution or aftermath or result of creativity and creative ideas. And not only do they go hand in hand, but they also exist in a continuum, as creativity leads to innovation, and likewise creativity equals innovation, and also innovation equals a creativity. Is it possible to innovate without creativity? Actually, no, never. It is ever. In fact, it's actually impossible to innovate without creativity, if not to truly innovate without creativity. This is it because innovation involves introducing something or anything new and or making significant improvements to something or anything. And that newness and usefulness must and has to or is required to stem from original thoughts, and ideas, hence why creativity is the precursor or fuel or start for innovation. And as for also improvements to things or something or anything require creative approaches or methods to problem solving and involved are redesign solving, as well as for redesigns and re-engineering and finding better methods. Without creativity and the initial creative act of generating new ideas, the resulting innovation is just merely duplication, imitation, or incremental change rather than innovation, if not true innovation. Is it possible? Is it possible to be creative without innovating? Innovating? Eating? I'm pretty I'm pretty much on a neutral opinion on whether or not it is possible to be creative without innovating. Creativity is an internal process with imagination and idea generation, and individuals that can develop countless brilliant original ideas and just be highly creative in general. However, if none of these ideas are shared, developed, funded, implemented, or brought to market or whatever, ever, innovation won't occur. Won't occur. Won't occur. And that's why I'm actually neutral on, and that is my reason why I'm neutral on whether or not it is possible to be creative without innovating. Now, and for the fourth and final prompt, it says, under what organizational circumstances would you choose a job candidate who exhibited creative potential but lacked practice creativity experience over a candidate who had worked in an environment where opportunities to develop practice creativity or for developing practice creativity were extensive, but who had exhibited less creative potential. And under what organizational circumstances would you choose a candidate with obvious practice creativity skills over someone with creative potential? It says I would choose a candidate with creative potential, but without practice experience, or with a lack of practice experience when the organization, company, business, corporation, or firm either needs radical or disruptive innovation, or has or involves or includes long-term strategy, building, or culture building, or where the roles are conceptual, or there's like a front-end R&D. But on the other hand, I would instead choose a candidate for practice creativity I would choose a candidate with practice creativity over creative potential whenever the organization, company, business, firm or corporation either has an immediate need for deliverables or an immediate need for execution, or when there are high-risk implementation projects, or when there are standardized environments or optimized environments. If the company, organization, corporation, business, or firm is entering a new market and faces a burning platform problem, or is focused on building a sustainable long-term culture of ingenuity that where potential where potential has to be and can and will be nurtured and mentored, if done, nurtured and mentored, and or the roles are just focus purely on like basic research or early or conceptual development that's like in the early stages. I would go with or choose or hire a candidate who has a high creative potential, but without extensive practice experience. But when the organization, company, corporation, business, or firm is on tight deadlines for launching new products, or has projects where novel solutions have to be flawlessly executed with little to no errors or experimentation, and or the roles just focus on or the roles require that creativity has to or must be applied within highly regulated industries or deeply established processes, then I would go for or choose or hire a candidate with with practice creativity skills over creative potential or high creative potential.